Hello and welcome to the BooMCAST. Okay, great. Yes, hello and welcome to the BooMCAST. Woo! Little bit of technical
Well,
issues, but
yeah,
we're sorted now.
it'll teach us for trying new stuff.
Yeah, well. Anyway, as usual, this is your newest and number one Australian source for internet news and gaming. I am your host, Sir Deezy, and I am welcomed today by Aaron Toomey of the Gamery.
What
Just the
up?
two of us today, and how are you doing?
Yeah, pretty good. Pretty good.
That was my live stream. Anyway, good to hear.
Yeah, how you
Um,
doing?
yeah, I'm not too bad, not too bad. A little tired from work, but
Yeah,
getting there.
just how it goes.
And number one is, um, just to let you guys know as well, there is usually a guest and other co-host, but our special girl Frankie, she's at the moment being all MLG pro and stuff. She might join in later on in the stream, but we'll see how
Maybe.
that goes. But
Then we'll
yeah,
have to work out how to get her into this whole shenanigan as well.
uh,
So that'll be
that will be
that'll be good
fun.
times.
But for now, let's roll on with the show.
Yes,
As usual,
let's.
to those of you at home, this is obviously a show where our panel recaps the biggest and best, most interesting news from the internet.
Yep.
We'll be doing our discussions of topics and, of course, do our opinionating and such. We've got a few topics this week, but before we get into the thick of things, for those of you watching the show at home or on YouTube, on the stream, let's properly introduce ourselves.
Yes.
So I guess we'll
Probably a good
start
idea.
with you, Aaron.
Okay, I am Aaron from the Gamery. I run even a Australian-based website about gaming, technology, and movies. www.the-gamery.com. Pretty recent into the whole YouTube scene. Still getting a feel for it, but we've started doing our podcasts as a live stream as well. So yeah, pretty much on the channel this week we had a look at Destiny, of course, biggest game to come out probably
Yeah.
in this, I don't know, area of the year. It's been pretty dead recently, and the beta kind of had everyone all aflutter. So yeah, I had a quick look at that, and I've kind of changed up the way we do our podcasts. I'm thinking of doing just like an informational kind of news-based one by myself during the week, and then when I can get the other guys who have hectic schedules, when I can get them together, we'll just do like a discussion about, the games that have caught our attention or whatever news that's come along, and that sort of thing. So yeah, it's been pretty good. But what about you, Blake? What have you been up to?
Not too much. For those of you who don't know me, I'm a very poor YouTuber by the name of Blake. I run the Deezy Show, but no special channel called the Gamery or anything of those on those lines. But I do.
That's not a
I
special? Is that
do.
what you mean?
No, but thank you for that,
No,
Aaron.
you're welcome.
Um,
That's fine. That's my pleasure.
yeah. Well. Anyway. So I do inconsistent videos and very stupid games and parodies, and it's a bunch of mess, and I think fun. So definitely check my channel out if you want to subscribe and like and favorite and dislike. Don't dislike. Anyway, um, this week it's been pretty hectic for me as well because I am one of those guys who actually has a very hectic schedule through work and full-time work is a pain, I can tell you that. But I guess I kind of played a lot of games when I probably shouldn't have this week. Um,
I think we're all guilty
especially
of that one.
if you're definitely watching this show, then I think you are. But anyway, so yeah, I'm kind of in the process of moving out as well, so that's not helped
Ooh,
anything with that.
nice.
But
Out of
oh,
mummy and daddy's house
yeah,
into
out of the basement.
the big bad world of the adultness.
I'm kind of scared, but yeah,
Is it your
essentially,
is it your first time? Like, is it first time moving
yeah,
out of
it
home?
is
Dude, you won't
pretty
know
pretty much.
yourself. You won't know yourself. It's hard at first, but then
Yeah.
you're like, why didn't I do this as soon as I turned 18? Like, it's
Fair Fair enough. Well,
except for the
life
Bills.
lessons from the Mr. Aaron Toomey.
Bills suck.
I can imagine. Um, but yeah, I guess moving into the games, I played PlanetSide 2. I can,
Ooh,
well,
nice. Sorry about that.
that's all good. Yeah, I played PlanetSide 2. I actually played this game a while back and I absolutely loved it, but I kind of stopped for a little while. It gets stale over time, I find, but a great game, definitely would recommend because it is free to play and it's a massive online game,
Wow,
FPS as well. So it's
is
kind
it
of
really free to play? I didn't know that.
it is free to play, and in my honest opinion, it should be like I don't know at EB, it should be like 39.99 or something like that. It is worth a
Cool.
lot of like it's worth it definitely.
Nice.
Um, Very fun game, very cool with the whole FPS, but then they put in vehicles and they put in air vehicles as well. The flying is ridiculous fun. Definitely a game to check out. Um, on that note, I actually have a question for the viewers though. So definitely, if you're interested, put a comment down below. I want to see how many people we actually get commenting, but I just simply want to know, do you guys play PlanetSide 2 or do you want to play PlanetSide 2? Um, I would suggest you put what faction you actually play in and for rather, and what server you play in. And we'll see what happens, and I'll do a little bit of a reveal of why I'm asking that question in the next episode.
He's
But
being
yeah,
sneaky.
so
He's being
I
sneaky,
am.
viewers.
um, Other than that, I guess as always, World of Warcraft, a lot of Minecraft this week, a
Oh
lot
yeah,
of Minecraft.
yeah. I
Aaron
wonder
knows
why that
why,
is.
but don't make me out to be quite
Now
a
it's
sneaky
my turn
person,
to sit back and twizzle my mustache.
yes,
Yeah,
yes,
yeah,
it
yeah,
is.
yeah.
On in terms of the Minecraft server, I'll actually just tell you guys. I won't tell you everything, but I'll tell you I am building on Mr. Aaron Toomey's Minecraft Realm server.
Realm
So
server, no less.
it's
Yeah.
Realm server, yeah. Pretty damn cool, but we'll see what I end up building. I think I actually quite like what I'm building this time because I
It's looking
really
really good. I gotta say, as someone who can't really build in Minecraft at all, which depresses me to no end, and it's probably quite funny to watch. I'll leave that up to the viewers to decide. But yeah, as someone who doesn't have a lot of building experience and skill, and/or skill, if you will, yeah, it's very impressive what you and your mate have managed to create, and yeah,
in under a week.
it's
In
awesome.
under a week.
Yes.
Yeah, well, I might show it off later, but I'm kind of hoping that you find it throughout one of your streams, and yeah,
Yes.
but
Well, I am
then possibly
hoping
I will be
to.
online for that.
I am hoping to, actually do some more streams. I'm supposed to on Wednesday and Friday. I also do streaming, for those who don't know, over on Twitch, Gamery Aaron. But this week I've been a little under the weather, shall we say, with
It
a
doesn't show.
too much, with a cough and cold and sniffles and man flu, pretty much. So yeah, I struggled through our podcast this week for the Gamery with coughing every 5 minutes. So I kind of laid off the streaming this week, but I will definitely be jumping straight back into it next week. So yes.
Fair enough.
About
Okay, very cool. So definitely check out that. See what you think of those streams. I actually really enjoy the Gamery streams, but anyway,
cheers.
back to what I'm
Thank you
playing.
very much.
That's okay. Actually, there's one more game that I do want to mention. If you've ever heard of Landmark,
No, I haven't. What's
It's-
what it is?
it's a game. It's a game that caught my interest. I'm obviously a big Minecraft fan. I love the game. The reason why this caught my interest is because it's pretty much a sandbox type of game like Minecraft, where the main aim of the game is to build. The thing is, it takes away the block aspect and gives you a very 3D type of world.
Oh,
And
okay.
the way you build is interesting to say the least, because you literally you gather resources. So say I gather like 9,000 stone. literally 9,000, and I want to build some sort of castle. The way to build that castle is literally to grab and pull the terrain. So you can literally
Huh.
build anything you want.
That is
And
really cool.
it is like the concept of it is amazing. Now the thing is, it came out through a beta. I can't remember if it's a closed or open beta on Steam, like if you had to play the alpha to get involved, because I did play it throughout alpha.
Yeah.
Um, I have to say, I think it's literally ruined it for me playing the beta.
Oh.
And I'm sorry, but it's just, it feels so broken. And I don't think it's because of the actual game itself. I think it's literally the fact that I played it through beta. And I don't think I'm honestly going to play a beta ever again, because I can tell you that I'm being serious. Like, from this bad experience, I'm like a bad customer. Like, I don't think I'm ever going to play this beta again. There was only one beta that I can really say that I actually genuinely liked, because it was run very well. That was the Guild Wars 2 beta, and I absolutely love the Guild Wars franchise. The way they did it was there were certain bits that you couldn't obviously get to, but it felt so clean. And that's the problem I have with Landmark. Like, you can build anything that you want, but I spent like 2 hours playing that game the other night, and I couldn't figure out how to do anything. And it just felt so different to the alpha. It felt so different in general, like to anything I've ever played, which I wanted, but at the same time, it was very confusing. And to be honest, the only 2 points that I would give it are the running and jumping, rather, because that was cool because you got to like jump and do flips.
Oh, right.
Um,
I was going to say, what? What?
yeah, I mean,
Running
honestly,
and
like these are
jumping. Yeah, that game's really good. It's got,
yeah.
running and jumping. Welcome to 1994.
But pretty much, I mean, like that's what I'm saying though. That those are the only two things that I would give this game on in terms of its merits,
Damn.
at the moment anyway.
But you
And
said the alpha was good. So what changed between the alpha and the beta?
I well, okay, if I could give a comparison, if you remember when Minecraft started, I don't know if you might have played it when it started, but when it
Yeah.
was in alpha,
Yeah.
there were two versions of it. So there was the survival where you paid $20, for example, and you actually got to play the game that you're playing now.
Yeah.
And then they just added a bunch of stuff every couple of patches. But there was also a browser version, and that was literally
Oh,
creative
okay.
mode,
Yeah.
but very plain. So it was literally just a flat surface, and it just didn't look as good.
Yeah.
That is like the alpha of Landmark,
Oh,
because
okay.
it was very different.
Yeah. So it was
They
pretty much just mechanics testing, not
Yeah,
an actual game. Okay, I see what you're saying now. So it's not
exactly. Like
possibly it's not really the actual game mechanics that are broken. It's just because I found this with a couple of games where the developers think that you'll just kind of work out how to do things, but it's very anti-intuitive, if that makes any sense. So it's like super
yeah.
hard to actually work out how to do anything. Yeah, that kind of sucks. Hopefully, being a good beta tester, like I know that you would be, Blake, you gave them some feedback, some
I like a
constructive
freaking
feedback.
assignment, man. Like, just 4 pages, fix this shit. Like, no, but like, I understand the reason for betas, but honestly, I don't think I want to play a beta based on this experience, because if there are games that I'm interested in the future, like take for example Destiny. I actually didn't play Destiny's beta, which when I tell anyone that, everyone's like, "What the hell is wrong with you?" Because it's literally going to be game of the year.
Yeah.
And the reason why I didn't was because I was literally scared it would ruin the game for me. So even though personally, and I'm going to get slaughtered for this on YouTube, but I'm actually not a fan of. I'm not. I wouldn't say I'm not a fan, but I'm not that excited for Destiny. But anyway, let's
Just wait
put
till you
that
play it,
aside.
dude. Because I was that exact same way. Like I had seen some of the alpha footage, and
Yeah,
it was an alpha, so it was, it was. I mean, compared to most alphas, it was really good, but it was still a triple A alpha, so there was a lot of rough parts. But to be honest, as someone who played the crap out of the Destiny beta, I was super impressed with how polished that game was. I did have a couple of issues, like getting into the beta. Like I'd launch it because I was on Xbox One. I'd launch it from the home screen, and because it does that thing where it's now like multitasking, it holds a game in the background and you can launch another app and then it'll go back to that game. I often found that when I went back to the game, because I had technically been idle for so long, because, I thought I was getting out of Destiny and going to another app, but the Xbox had other ideas. So because I was idle, I got kicked from, the servers or whatever and had to sign in again. And that's where I had most of my issues. But once I was like signed in and, was able to select my character and jump into the tower and do missions and all of that, it was flawless. I did not have an issue once. Once I was in the game, I didn't have an issue at all. Like, it was release-worthy game. Like, if someone just sat me down in front of the console and said, here's a game, play it, I would think that it was a released game. It was that polished. There was no fucking around. So yeah,
very cool.
I had a lot of fun with because like you said before, I wasn't super hyped or excited for Destiny. I was hopeful that it would be awesome, but I was kind of keeping a realistic check on that. But once I've actually played the game, like, because it is, and I heard someone say this the other day, because it is the melding of like all of the best bits of some of our favorite games. Like, it's very Halo and it's very Mass Effect and it's very Borderlands and it's very MMO styled, and it's kind of got all these great things from all these different games like meshed together. But it's still its own unique game. It's just there's not really anything else out there that's like it, and I think can give you that same experience. And I think that's what will really carry Destiny, especially from launch. But I think people will really fall in love with the game itself for its own flair and stuff like that. So yeah, I'm super excited for it.
Well, I can see that. Well, to be honest, I really hope it is a good game, but I guess what I'm saying is, like, I don't want it to be, I don't want it to ruin my experience, because I think at this time, literally because of those bad experiences with the betas, I guess it's more the fact that I'm willing now to wait until the game is complete, so I know that I'm not going to get disappointed. But yeah, anyway, regardless, I've heard a lot of people say, and a lot of YouTube channels that I actually watch for my source of news, a lot of them say literally it's the first game that I've ever played in beta where I have been hooked, and like it's changed my idea of gaming in general. It's like literally the next gen game.
Yeah.
Even though it is on the older consoles, it's literally the beginning.
Yeah.
So that's like, very good news to hear. Yeah.
If you think about what the scope of what they're trying to do, and just being able to have people on console machines that can jump in and out of each other's sessions and, just walk around with each other, and you can have, I think the most people I saw in just one like mission map, just not like a multiplayer arena, but just a mission or whatever, was probably about 10 people.
Okay.
And that was, they could join onto your objective, or they could go off and do their own or whatever. So it just that simple scope has just not really been tried before in any other game. And it's just cool that we're seeing those sort of things, starting in the gaming realm at the moment. So it's, I hope it opens the doors for a heap of other games that will do the same sort of thing. Because whilst we have seen a lot of that on PC, a lot of us here in Australia are console gamers, or at least have a heap of friends that are primarily console gamers. So yeah, hopefully it'll drag those people. Hopefully it'll drag those people in.
Very cool. Very cool. Well, we've pretty much kicked off the news already, but
Yeah,
I do want to just very quickly say, be sure to check out the BooMCAST Facebook page, which I finally actually, did today.
Yeah.
But that's in the description, and a link for it is in the description below. But basically, go there for any news, delay info, or links to live streams as well. Anyway.
And maybe
I guess
a funny picture or two.
possibly. I mean, I might take a few Snapchat selfies or something. I don't know. Anyway, so I guess next up in our list of news was the new Xbox One EA subscription service, and the fact that it's actually not going to Sony PlayStation 4. So, have you heard about that?
I have heard about that. I chatted a little bit about it this week. It just seems weird and misguided to me. I don't know what your thoughts are on it, Blake, but yeah, I just like people have already got to shell out for Xbox Live Gold, and this service is completely separate. So if you just want to play the single player of, EA's back catalog, then fair enough. But yeah, like it's just. I don't know. I don't really see the benefit of it so far, I guess. I think it's probably more for the sports fans who don't want to be shelling out, like 60 and 80 and $100 every single time there's a new like Madden and NHL and all the rest of it, FIFA. Like you know what I mean? Like, especially like American sports games fans, probably not too keen on doing that every single time. So, yeah. Yeah.
I mean, personally, as a FIFA player, and I am very into my sports types of video games as well, personally, I actually quite like the idea. I guess I kind of... Oh, hello, Caesar. My dog is in the room. That scared the hell out of me. But anyway,
look at him. He's so cute.
Yeah. Whatever about him.
This is still in the show.
What was I saying? Yeah.
We were talking about FIFA and how this service appeals to you.
Thank you. So I suppose it's kind of like my Netflix, if you will. Like it's a path to gaming Netflix, for me anyway. Like I don't know. I think it's a good idea, and the only thing that kind of confuses me is firstly, why would Sony deny it? I know that they have their own subscription service that they will be doing, but it's something that EA is offering. I don't know. That just confuses me, and the fact that they would deny it.
Yeah, well,
and the fact that Microsoft has accepted it as well.
Well,
like their biggest competitor.
Because PlayStation has PlayStation Plus, the streaming service, which this would be pretty much a direct competitor to. I mean, the whole idea is to go into the back catalog of games from, Sony just wants any game in their back catalog you would want to play, whereas EA wants their, can only offer their specific games. So, yeah, I can see why Sony has said, no, we don't need it. And I can see why Microsoft has said, yes, we'll take it, because they don't have anything like that. But yeah, it's just... I don't know.
That's the BooMCAST reaction to
it. That's my reaction, at least, anyway.
Fair enough. Well, I guess something a little bit more vital to us would be Google buying out Twitch.
Yeah.
Now, I can't actually remember if it was 1 billion or 3 billion they bought it for.
I know the rumors initially were 1. I don't know how much it actually sold for. Like when they, because that was just when rumors, like supposedly Google was putting a offer together. I haven't actually read anything about the actual sale of it yet. So
Okay.
Um,
But
yeah.
thoughts on that? Because personally, I will say that it caught me by surprise. I mean, I know that Google and YouTube have always looked at Twitch and been like, we want you to come to the dark side because, they've basically mastered
The dark
live
side,
streaming.
which we
Yeah,
happen to be streaming on right now.
yeah. Well, we are evil. I thought that was an issue.
Yes, yes.
Um, no, but like it caught me by surprise because I always thought of Twitch as, um, I suppose it's kind of the alternative to YouTube. I didn't think they would actually come and join YouTube at all. And that's what I see Google doing with Twitch. They'd actually integrate Twitch as a live streaming addition to YouTube because we all know how YouTube's live streaming goes. I mean, again, we're doing it right now, but it's kind of confusing, as you pretty much saw in the beginning of the video, with the whole technical issues and stuff. Just constructive criticism, Google, don't sue me. But, like Twitch is just a very easy product. It's very easy to use, and that's where I like to do my streaming personally. Um, and I always thought of it as a haven away from YouTube. If YouTube did ever fail, or if anything went wrong, I would shift over to there, or the Gamery website, by the way. Cheap plug. But yeah, I don't know. Like, what do you think about that? Did
Yeah,
it catch you by surprise? Like,
I not really. Just because Twitch was doing so well, like it makes sense that Google would want to buy something that's doing awesomely and has, it already has that audience and user base. Yeah, I like. It does seem a little weird, and I wonder if Twitch will now become. I wonder it can either go one of two ways. It can become a kind of blended in with YouTube.
Twitch too.
Yeah, it'll just be this kind of weird. They'll open it up instead of being most like games focused. It'll be just kind of broadcasting, live streaming based, and it will just kind of be anything and everything on there. Or they'll have it as its complete own entity, and they'll kind of leave it as is, but just kind of funnel in, the Google stuff. So you won't have to sign up for a Twitch account. You'll just use your Google account, and you'll be able to get your followers on Google Plus, and save all your stuff directly to YouTube. And when you stream to Twitch, you'll also be able to stream directly to YouTube. And yeah, I think kind of it makes sense. I mean, it helps someone like me where I currently stream to Twitch, and then I use Twitch to kind of save the broadcast as a video file, and then Twitch servers talk to YouTube servers and upload it via there, which is great because then I don't have to upload the broadcast and then remember to save it on my local hard drive and then upload it again. All that's done in the background. There is a couple of like tweaks and stuff that you have to do personally, but what I'm hoping is that it'll turn into Twitch and YouTube will just kind of be like this, almost the same thing, and they'll just work seamlessly in the background and do their thing. I'm hoping that's the way it goes, so that Twitch is kind of left as is, but just has these good, kind of perks added on from the whole Google-ness. Just to be eloquent.
Yeah. Well, I definitely echo a lot of what you just said because it should make it a lot easier for people like us who do stream through Twitch.
Yeah.
And that's the main idea about it. I guess our main concern is if Google fucks it up.
Yes.
Which is basically what they did with YouTube, as we can see.
Oh.
Shots fired. Shots fired.
Someone's bitter.
No, I mean, like, they, I don't know. I just personally had an issue with the whole way they actually changed YouTube, but I don't know, and that's what concerns me
But
with.
when you say they changed YouTube, like, because I've been using YouTube as my main source of media input, so me watching media and looking at videos and stuff, because I don't watch TV
Yeah.
anymore. I pretty much just watch YouTube and
Oh, I
stream
do too.
TV shows and stuff.
Yeah.
So when you say they changed it, like they've owned YouTube for a while now. So when are you talking exactly? Because I know they
mean,
have made a lot of changes recently, but they still have owned it for years and years before that.
that's true. I mean, the thing is, if you look back at YouTube now, when just before Google actually bought it out, if you were to use that, compare it to this, I'm sure a lot of people actually prefer this version because it's what we're used to now.
Mm.
My issue is since Google bought YouTube,
You still there, dude? Yeah, no. Nope, we seem to have lost Blake. Okay, well, that's kind of
and then this
interesting.
unused
Dude,
space.
stop. Sorry. You froze there for a sec, so we totally missed. So you were talking about
Oh,
Google bought YouTube and you were just going to go into what they changed. So go from there.
okay. Well, yeah. Sorry about that, guys. Again, technical issues. But basically, what I would have said was, what would I have said? If you look back at what YouTube was when Google bought it, and then you compared it to what it is now, I'm 100% sure, like at least 90% of you, 99% of you would prefer this current version of YouTube, just because we're used to it now. The issue that I have with it is if you ever notice every 6 months or every year or so, like they make some sort of change to it. And it's since they bought it that they've been doing these unnecessary changes. For example, putting your video here and then having just a massive friggin' white like space where there's absolutely nothing there, like it's unused space. That was never there before Google bought it. And they just do stupid things like that. I don't know. Like I actually don't know how to explain it because it has been so long. But the way I remember YouTube before Google bought it out is it was just an easy, simple. You just click the video that you see on your homepage, and voila. Right now, it seems like a lot of PewDiePie, 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 Tubuscus, PewDiePie, white space. So like, I don't know. That's my main issue with it. The fact that they make those unnecessary changes, and I don't want Twitch to have a massive white space in the bottom right and have those particular changes. I don't know.
Yeah. Well, I do kind of, just to pile on what you were saying just then, when they how they've kind of made this change now where the popular get more popular and the less popular fade into complete obscurity and have no chance of getting out of that. Whereas Twitch, whilst you might look up channels and see who's got the most views at the moment, or you might look up a particular game and, the people with most viewers on at that point in time are up the top, you can still quite easily scroll down and see all of these other people who may be just as good, but, have just started or, just starting a new game or something like that. Like, there is the opportunity to build and grow, and I think that Twitch kind of gives everyone a fairly even playing field, whereas I don't feel YouTube does that. They kind of make it very hard to be found. If that makes any sense.
Yeah. I definitely agree with you because I know lots of YouTubers who might have, say, 1,000 subscribers on their YouTube channel, but then their Twitch, even though Twitch is a small community at the moment with like these, I don't know how to explain it, but it's just a smaller community, but he's got like 20,000 Twitch followers, but like 1,000 YouTube subscribers. So I don't understand how that worked, but it's literally the way you explained it, the way they promote. And I guess that's another big concern about it because if they change that and they put it the way YouTube is right now, where they subscribe PewDiePie a million freaking times, that's just going to ruin the community completely. So
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm just a little worried, but only time can tell. It makes it easier. That's the main thing.
Yeah, and I'd be
For
interested
us.
to know what our viewers and the people watching and listening
Yeah.
think as well. Like, do they think it'll actually change it, or are we just being fear
Am I just
mongers?
being like a absolute moron, or you know? But
Maybe
anyway,
both, because there's chances that we are. I mean, we won't rule that out.
it's not just me.
Yeah, exactly.
But on, on that note, speaking of idiots, let's talk about government. And
Yes,
I
let's.
understand, Aaron, you want to talk about this, so I'll hand it over to
Yeah.
you.
So during the week, the government brought out I don't know the exact term for it, but it's a paper just kind of gauging everyone's reaction on. At the moment, the big thing is online piracy, and they're trying
Okay.
to gauge people's thoughts on what they, as the government, should do about it. Now, obviously, people like Foxtel have weighed in and said piracy is bad. The government should do something about it. Everyone
Yeah.
is shit, and sort of thing. So, yeah, it's
Rabble, rabble, rabble.
yeah, exactly. So, excuse me a second.
Do you need a glass of water there, Aaron?
I think I may need some coke.
Yeah, fair enough. Elevator music while he
So,
does this.
Anyway, so yeah, I think that Foxtel has weighed in and said that people should be prosecuted and it's hurting content creators and blah blah blah. They didn't actually say it's hurting us, but pretty much what they were saying is it's hurting us. The government should stop it. And they said that through their services and programs like I don't remember what they call it, like Express from the US or something, which is where supposedly the day after it airs in America, it airs here as well. Now, I know for a fact that because I use several different services which allow me to watch stuff like Hulu and Netflix and stuff like that, so something will air in the US and then it could be like 2 or 3 weeks later that it actually shows up on Foxtel. And most of their stuff, even if it isn't, expressed from the US, we're like a season behind. Game of Thrones, the latest season of Game of Thrones, Australia was like the number one pirators of Game of Thrones TV shows in the world. Like, we were the worst. And it's because we know we won't get it here for months and months. And if you want to go anywhere near the internet without spoilers, then you can just forget it. So, it's up to people like Foxtel to, if people can get it illegally, like ridiculously easy, then they need to step their game up and, step up to the plate and say that, okay, well, we're going to offer, a service where you can watch it the same time as America. Like, it's the internet, or an hour later. We shouldn't have to wait for a day or a week or a month. It should be like minutes. So, yeah, it's just... Sorry about that.
No, all good, man. I completely understand and agree with you because personally, I love Game of Thrones and I don't download it illegally. But yeah. But what I do is I literally have to wait, as you said, for months and months and not go on Facebook for spoilers, and that friggin' sucks because who doesn't use Facebook nowadays? But yeah, I'm sorry if I cut you off, by the way. Did you have anything else to say about that?
No, you're right. I'm just commenting back to Planetary Ashes and Age of Empires. Yes,
Oh,
Google will definitely change stuff. It's just inevitable, unfortunately. But sorry, yes, back to what we're talking about now. Yeah, so what they were actually thinking of doing is that because the ISPs, IINet, there was this thing, I believe it was last year or the very start of this year, IINet had a court case where they were defending that it wasn't the ISPs who should be held responsible for, the illegal downloading of stuff. So, that's a high court ruling, I believe. So the ISPs, the content creators can't go after the ISPs and saying, you should have cut off this person's access because they were illegally downloading our stuff, yada yada. So the new scheme is to have the ISPs throttle your internet until you contact them and say, hey, what's going on? Why is my internet slow? And then they say to you, well, we've found that you're illegally downloading stuff. You need to stop doing that. And then they'll restore your access or whatever, which to me seems ridiculous. I don't understand why they can't just say, hey, what the F, stop doing this stuff. If you're caught doing it again, you're going to have to get internet elsewhere. Something like that. I think that having them throttle it for what would seem on your end like no apparent reason, you have to then contact them and then they tell you what's going on. Like, that just seems a little dodgy to me. I don't know about you, but yeah, it just...
Yeah, I mean, actually, before I make my comment on it, if it sounds like I'm breathing very heavily, it's actually not me. It's my dog. He's snoring right now. It's really cute, but really annoying.
Yeah. Blame it on the dog.
It is. I don't know. But yeah, I mean, personally, I actually heard nothing about this week, but I wasn't paying attention to anything illegal. So illegal related. Wink, wink. But yeah, I kind of agree with basically everything you've said there. I mean, it is very strange why they wouldn't be like, well, just we're not going to give you service anymore. They just, what did you say? It like caps it?
Yeah, they throttle it. So capping? Yeah, they take it down. They reduce your download or whatever. They either completely like cut off your service until you contact them and then they tell you what's going on, or they throttle it to dial up or whatever until you contact them. So yeah, it just seems kind of ridiculous. Like, and to be honest, I think the onus is probably more on the, I don't know what they call it, but probably like distributors maybe. The Australian distributors to actually fight for their customers and go to the US, people and say, look, we have people that want to watch your show and will pay for it. And if you can just make it easy for us to make it easy for them, it's a no-brainer. Like, people will shell out for Game of Thrones.
Take my money.
Exactly.
Like,
I mean,
I just want it.
had I thought ahead of time, we could have had like a Fry thing being like, yeah, take my money or whatever. But but you know what I mean? Like, I really think that some of the onus is on the guys like Foxtel to actually give us a service that's easy to jump onto. And like, I know they've got Foxtel Go and all of this sort of stuff, but it's cost prohibitive, especially when you've got something like Hulu Plus in America, which is like $10 a month or something like that. Whereas I don't know the exact numbers, but I believe Foxtel is something like $10 a week. So, there's a huge difference there. And that if they just made it easier and probably more well known for people to be able to do this, then, the money is there for them to make. I think they have to now
absolutely.
pick up the ball and say, right, guys, you know, we know that you pirate stuff because it's not coming out here until fucking who knows when, and we're going to fight for you guys as long as you give us money. We'll, yeah. I don't understand why that's so hard for them. And if I knew anything about this whole, like, how to do that, I would totally be in there and I'd be like, boom, give us the stuff and I'll make money and I'll give you money and
Boom.
so much money and there'll be all the things and everyone will be happy and there'll be cake. But, you know, like,
it's just a matter of them understanding it. And I would like to actually see if they do make a profit at the moment. I would assume like quite a large profit.
Absolutely.
I would like to see their revenue, because personally, I don't understand exactly like what you're saying there. They can be making so much more. I don't understand. Like, are they making enough? Is that the reason why they're not?
I think probably at the moment, I think it may be one of two reasons, or two of two reasons. Either the people in positions of power, so the executives, and I think this is kind of across the board in Australia. People in positions of power are of an older generation and don't understand what's going on.
Change.
Yeah, change. Or the other thing, which is probably just as likely and probably more the actual issue, is there's already, you know, contracts in place with, I don't know, like Fox 8 and, you know, BBC and freaking FX or whatever the NBC, Showtime, whatever the equivalent of our NBC is here, saying, you know, you get to release it whenever you want and drive up demand and blah blah. Like, I'm sure there's a whole lot of other stuff in the background that would be very hard to change, but yeah, it's almost like we need someone new to go over to the US and say, look, I want to do this thing, we can make tons of money, you know, let's do it. And then Foxtel and whoever else, all the other media companies will be like, oh crap, now we have to do something. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, so.
Well, that's up to you, Australia. Go to America and be like, we want to make money. Yeah. Anyway.
They'll probably be like, this is this freaking idiot. Get him out of here.
But money. Another big point, actually, the past couple of weeks. Did you follow much about Comic-Con by chance?
Yes, a bit. Like, I kind of skimmed the major points.
Yeah. Okay, fair enough. Because what I've got here is a list of personal favorites and highlights.
Nice.
And I want to see what you think of it, Aaron, and what do you guys think in the chat? Because there's a few things that I'm really excited for, a few things that kind of make me go, ugh. So I've got a list here. We'll see.
Things that make
I also
you go,
want to know. Hashtag. Ugh. Now, another thing is the big question about this is who won, Marvel or DC? So we'll determine at the end, I feel. But anyway, so what I'll do is I'll go through Marvel's list of big highlights, I would say. So they actually released a couple of things from the Avengers Age of Ultron, which is a big movie coming out very soon. I believe they came out with a release date, or if I'm not mistaken, but they came out with basically this big map, and it shows a lot of superheroes that are going to be or have been confirmed for the movie. We also had emphasis on Ant-Man with that dude from Friends. He ends up marrying what's her face, Phoebe. But yeah, that looks pretty cool. Have you not, do you not who that is? Not know who that is? Paul Rudd.
Yeah,
Paul Rudd.
I know who
That's it.
Paul Rudd
I
is,
couldn't
but
remember
not the way you explained him.
Have you not watched Friends?
Yeah, but not like every 1,200,000 episodes or whatever the hell that is.
Well, it's only towards the end. He basically marries. But anyway, that's not the point.
Anyway,
But
getting
okay,
off
spoilers.
track.
Oops. But yeah, Ant-Man, that's looking good, and they aren't in. Well, they haven't started shooting it yet, but they did this whole poster thing. It looks pretty cool. They did a lot of emphasis on Guardians of the Galaxy, which I'm sure we will talk about as well. And something that was, I think, piqued both of our interests. Deadpool, the trailer they came out with a couple of years ago, 3 years ago, to show what it was like or going to be like, and it's got Ryan Reynolds' voice over in it, and he sounds amazing.
Yeah, it's
But yeah,
visual effects
so
test footage, I believe.
that's it. Perfect. Okay, well, let's go through Marvel first.
Sure.
Were you into the first Avengers movie?
Absolutely.
As
I
in
mean,
the not the first one, but
who the
like
hell wasn't?
the new first one.
What? You just
As
confused
in
me.
not well, no, because I'm pretty sure there's an old
Oh, okay.
Avengers
No,
movie,
it's
but
the one with all
yeah,
the good Avengers movie. Yes.
yeah, the good, yeah.
The one that made
Let's go with that.
bazillions of dollars. Yeah.
That's
Yeah, that was awesome. I loved how that movie had so many main characters, and yet it didn't feel like. I mean, it did a little bit with Iron Man, but I think they kind of spread it fairly evenly across all the characters. Um,
yeah.
I really loved the story in that movie. I thought it was really well done. So I am very excited to see what the next one is like. What about you? You a big Avengers fan?
I watched the movie twice in the cinemas, so very very big Avengers fan, and I never really thought I would be because I personally don't actually like the superhero genre as much. Um, Sorry, man, your mic is a little weird.
Yeah, it's
But
twigging out slightly. Hang on.
oh, good, that really hurt my ears. Sorry, headphone users. But yeah, I really like that movie. It's pretty damn cool. I won't spoil anything like I've spoiled the end of Friends, but I don't know. I just really enjoyed it, and it made me go back and watch it twice. And pay the extra. Oh, I didn't pay, but pay the extra $20 to watch it. Um, but yeah, I am really pleased, kind of pleased from seeing this. Have you seen the poster
No,
of
I haven't because I believe it shows Ultron, does it not?
it?
Or is
Does.
this a different one? Yeah, see, I have been consciously not looking for it, looking at it, whatever, because I
Oh,
kind of I've been trying to stay away from all that sort of stuff just so that I can walk into the movie not really knowing much about it slash anything,
yeah,
and just being able to like absorb the story via the movie, because I have done that a couple of times with other movies where I've kind of gone, that sounds awesome, and tried to learn as much as I can, and then when I go into the movie I have this preconceived idea. And I mean, you can do it with
yeah.
games as well. And so, yeah, I've been consciously trying to do that less, you know, recently. So, yeah,
Okay.
I've been trying
Well,
to stay clear of it. I mean, I know I've seen, I believe it's Quicksilver is in this one as well.
yes.
And,
That's. Oh, go ahead.
no, and just that, the bad dude things, like the kind of minions of Ultron. I've seen
Yeah,
those, but yeah, other than that, I've been trying to stick clear.
fair enough.
Hmm.
Well, I'll try to do this without spoiling too much for you then, Aaron. But there's this poster, as I've mentioned many times before. Um, they kind of released it in little sections, and then when you put it all together, it's this big, amazing poster. I believe that was the kind of confirmation of these three particular characters. So obviously we have Ultron. That's kind of obvious from the name, but the three characters that were kind of confirmed. Do you want me to tell you, by the way?
Yeah, sure, go for it. Why not?
Yeah. So you've got Quicksilver down. That's definitely confirmed. So Aaron Taylor Johnson is going to be playing that part. I don't know who that is, but
No, neither. I was gonna
so
say, what else has he
okay.
been in?
No idea.
I'm sure he's like super well
So
known. We'll look him up after the podcast and be like, oh,
yeah,
that
yeah,
guy.
that guy. And everyone in the chat is like, "Ugh, whatever,
You
hashtag
guys
bleh."
suck.
So Elizabeth Olsen as the Scarlet Witch as well, which is pretty cool, and
Oh,
she
okay.
looks amazing in that damn poster, I have to say.
Cool.
And the third kind of confirmation was the Vision. Now he is kind of looking away in the distance, in the very back of the poster, but he's got this nice cape on, and I think it looks amazing. And that is being played by Paul Bettany, who is also Jarvis.
Oh,
So
okay.
yeah,
Huh. That's
very.
interesting.
I thought it was yeah, I thought it was very cool, and the panel that they did is also very fun to watch. In fact, Thor or Chris Hemsworth, he kind of jokes about that whole news the other couple of weeks ago, where he thinks he'd be able to actually pull off a girl Thor. And he thinks it's going to be like his Emmy moment. I thought that was pretty damn cool. Very, very big highlight for
So
me
good.
on the panels. um, Now, while Aaron's dying,
Sorry.
I'll continue and it's all good. I'll continue and we'll talk about. I don't really want to talk about Ant-Man too much because I don't know what it is about in terms of like they haven't even started filming it, so it's kind of just Paul Rudd is in it and that other dude who I can't remember the name of, but yeah, they've got a cast down. Guardians of the Galaxy. Now that to me, it's gone. I think like they're hyping it so much. Have you heard of Guardians of the Galaxy?
Yes. I mean, it's kind of hard to have been on the internet and not have heard of it. There seems to be like a lot of, I don't know, there seems to be just a lot of like ads and marketing for it kind of everywhere at the
Yeah,
moment. I'm kind of sick of the ads, to be honest. Like, it almost seems like it doesn't know if it's going to be funny or like kind of story driven.
serious.
And yeah,
Yeah,
it's just like, I don't know. Like, I'm so all over the place with that movie. I'll probably do the same thing. Just set the bar super low, expect something that is absolute rubbish, and then, you know, it'll either come out as a decent movie or it'll be amazing or it'll hit my expectations and it'll be rubbish. Like, it's really the three levels. I don't
yeah.
think it'll be rubbish. I'm hopeful that it'll be awesome, but yeah. I mean, I don't know
I
enough
mean,
about the backstory to really be able to pick it apart or have an informed decision. So I'm just kind of going off the trailers, and at the moment they're so all over the shop. I've got no idea. So I don't know.
well, again, I kind of echo what you're saying there because again, I actually don't know much of the backstory either. I have never heard of Guardians of the Galaxy before all of these ads. But if you see the footage of Comic-Con, literally Guardians of the Galaxy won Comic-Con in terms of how much advertising there was.
Oh yeah, I can
Literally, there is
imagine.
so much advertising just everywhere. Excuse me one moment. Sorry, do you want to just talk about the Deadpool trailer for a little bit?
Yeah, sure. So for those who didn't see it, it is probably I don't know, what is it? It's just a visual effects trailer with Ryan Reynolds in the Deadpool suit, and it's completely visual effects, so there's no live action whatsoever. It really he's kind of got that character down pat, which is cool. I really hope that they do actually go forward with this. It's kind of like running a bit of a hype train, if you will. Like, seems to be back. We'll re-enable that. So yeah, it's just, it looks really cool and it got me super hyped. I mean, it's not, you know, there's no story in there. It's literally just him wailing on some guys as Deadpool, and just being ridiculously funny and like personifying the Deadpool character. So, you know, I thought it was awesome for that reason, but yeah, if it's not actually going to eventuate into anything, then it's kind of a letdown that it's even come out, if that makes any sense. What are
Yeah,
your
I
thoughts,
kind of
Blake?
get you. Sorry, guys. I'm back. Just family came home much earlier than expected. But regardless, I should be kicked for, not closing the door. But anyway, um, uh, yeah, I mean, Deadpool, I didn't actually see the trailer until you linked it to me the other night, Aaron. So,
And for
personally,
those who
I'm
haven't
a
seen it
big,
on the chat, I will probably post a thing to it. Everywhere it's been posted, it seems to be taken down within a couple of hours. I'm hoping that, we're kind of small enough and, not worth going after, if that makes any sense. So, yeah, I may post it in the chat or in the comments just after. It'll just be a random link. So if there's just a random link, it's either the Deadpool trailer or the Batman vs Superman teaser, because I managed to grab both of those before they were taken down from various places. So sorry, continue, Blake.
okay. Yeah, well, no worries. But um, I was basically just gonna say, I mean, Deadpool. If there is one superhero that I actually really enjoy, it is Deadpool. And if you've watched the X-Men Wolverine origin movie, I mean, I kind of liked but disliked what they did with Deadpool
Yeah,
at the same time because I was kind of like, I don't know,
yeah,
I
I
don't know,
was
like,
not a fan, especially at least at the I liked his portrayal at the start before he became like Deadpool, but once they actually kind of introduced him as Deadpool, I was like, this is just what the
yeah.
actual F. Like, yeah, I was not happy. Let's just put it that way.
Quite livid, in
Yes.
fact. But sorry guys, I think I'm lagging a little bit, so if I am breaking up, that is why. But anyway, yeah, regardless, I think that trailer is friggin' amazing. Personally, I quite liked it, and I echo what you said again, Aaron, because I am really hyped and excited to see if they do well with the, and I hope they do well with a Deadpool movie. I want to see a Deadpool movie, and I think if anyone can pull it off, it is Ryan Reynolds. So, yeah. Um, even though he is Green Lantern as well, and I'm pretty sure he wants to be the Flash as well. But anyway, we'll look past that. Going back to Guardians of the Galaxy before we were interrupted, but I just basically wanted to add as well. It was just advertising everywhere. I'm kind of on the fence with it because I think it is going to be comedy, but serious at the same time, as you were mentioning, Aaron.
Yeah.
But that it's on the fence, and it's kind of like, well, I want it to be serious or funny. Like, why is there a raccoon, and why is Dave Bautista from WWE in it? And like, if they want it to be serious, like, go for real act. I don't know.
Like, I mean,
It's
I feel that it will have comedy in it. I just feel that that's, the Avengers has some very comedic moments and it's in the very similar vein. So I do hope that there is some comedy in it, but I hope that it's not just kind of stupid and over the top. And I hope that it does have some meat and some plot to it and some emotion, but I hope that it's not like jumping from one extreme to the other every 5 seconds, because that's just going to get annoying.
fair enough.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Looking at DC now, obviously the big one was probably the Batman versus Superman trailer reveal.
Yeah.
Now, I haven't managed to have a look at this trailer because, well, you can't really find it anywhere. Did you say that you have that on the Gamery?
Yes. Yes, I do.
Yeah. Okay. So,
Again, I tried to post the links in the chat before and it freaked out and said you can't post links. So I'll either put it in the description or hopefully I might be able to like actually comment it once the podcast is done and it's like a video. So yeah, I'm not sure. We'll work something out.
okay. That's all good. But from what I hear, it is pretty freaking amazing because they have this whole thing. Like, we already knew that this is kind of inspired by one of the. There's a particular episode or comic where Batman is kind of older and he's facing off against Superman in this big kind of Batman suit that he's made.
Yeah.
Obviously, he's not as fast or quick because he's quite old, but he's definitely big and brawny, and that's kind of what is portrayed in this trailer, as well as the fact that Superman apparently is really pissed off with red eyes, and that sounds amazing. Um, but yeah, it looks pretty friggin' cool, from what I've heard, at least. Um, and I would go as far to say as this is my most anticipated movie so
Ooh.
far that's been announced.
Huh.
So I'm kind of hoping that they, you know, have that tenacity and intensity throughout the whole of the movie.
Yeah.
Um,
It'd be
yeah, I mean,
interesting because, like, I just can't fathom other than either one of them is, like, I don't want to say possessed because that just sounds stupid, but is either like affected by some external influence that is like, I don't know, taking over their mind or whatever, or
yeah.
just like completely kind of destitute,
Well,
if you will, like kind of has lost everything almost style of, you know what I mean? And I mean, I hear
yeah.
that Wonder Woman is in this one as well, so I'm guessing she's kind of, because I really doubt that they'll have one is like a winner over the other, because that's just inviting hate. So
Yeah.
I'm guessing that Wonder Woman is kind of going to be the kind of stopgap to stop all out, obliteration of one character or the other. Yeah,
Yeah.
I can't wrap my head around how they're going to make this work, but I'm hoping that it
Hmm.
does.
Well, that's an interesting point because isn't it true that Lex Luthor is going to be in this one, and he's going to be played by Jesse Eisenberg. Um,
I don't know, but if that's cool,
it
that would
is
be awesome. If that's true,
yeah.
that would be awesome. Not if that's cool.
I mean, hang on one second. We've actually got a comment from Planetary Ashes, but no, I am not still chasing that monkey from WoW. Um, that's a whole another story for another time. So we'll kind of leave that alone. But yeah, I mean, I see what you're saying, but that would be really cool, like having Lex Luthor kind of put like a chip in Batman's armor or something like that,
Yeah,
and it
exactly.
feeds through into his brain.
Yeah,
They could go so many ways with it, but yeah, Wonder Woman would definitely be the kind of even battle, like
yeah,
the person
kind of
who's the girl who's
the
like
mediator
the
sort of
person who
thing.
breaks up, the
Yeah,
mediator.
exactly.
Yes.
Yeah.
Speaking of Woman, the one big thing that they showed off about Wonder Woman was the look, like what she looks like as
Oh,
Wonder
okay.
Woman. So she actually doesn't have the iconic red and blue and those stars and stripes. She pretty much they're going for a Greco-Roman kind of look. So it
Oh,
looks like
okay.
she's literally, yeah. I mean, it's pretty cool as well because it's not showing too much cleavage. I mean,
Oh,
and
come on.
you know, I mean,
What are you
would you really
doing?
want that? Would you
Yes.
would you really want that from something that's like a serious? Okay, well, I guess there's no point messing around, but I don't know. Like, I think it looks pretty cool, but my only issue with her is she's not beefy enough for Wonder Woman. Like, she looks like a little stick in the
who's
armor.
who's playing Wonder Woman?
That's a good question because I've forgotten her name. I will bring that up in a second.
Because I mean, ages and ages ago, Megan Fox was not Megan Fox. What's the supermodel's name? Megan
There's
Megan
lots of
Gale.
supermodels, Aaron.
Megan Gale, the Aussie one.
Okay.
Megan Gale. She was slated to play Wonder Woman, and I think she was actually a pretty good fit. She probably can't act for shit, but she's kind of got that build, and she is slightly mannish while still looking pretty hot. So, yeah, I mean,
Right.
it'd be, yeah, I just can't. Honestly, out of like all of the actresses at the moment, I guess Jennifer Lawrence could possibly
Yeah.
do a fairly good Wonder Woman, but I can't really think of anyone else, Really?
Yeah. I've just actually sent Aaron the picture for Wonder Woman, and so tell me what you think of it. But I think it looks pretty good. But as I said, she kind of looks like a stick in it. My vision of Wonder Woman is strong and beefy, and I don't think that's very well portrayed. But that's just my opinion.
Yeah.
Definitely looks cool. Definitely looks good. But the actor is Adriana something. I'll let you read it. But
Is what?
while you're
Adriana?
having
Oh, that's not what it says here. It's oh, it's that chick. It's
that chick,
I believe it's Gal Gadot, or
yeah, Gal Gadot.
yeah, something like that.
It was
She's the chick from
yeah.
Fast and the Furious. I did actually know that.
Oh,
I had read that before. Yes, I don't know how well she'll be able to pull off the whole Wonder Woman thing. Like, yeah, I see what you're saying. Like, she's not exactly beef.
Wonder Woman.
Yeah, she doesn't exactly exude strength, and that's one of the things that, Wonder Woman is Amazonian. She's supposed to be, larger than life, and
Yeah,
like we said, exude
it's not.
strength. So, yeah, I
It's
don't.
just a weird fit. It's not like Ryan Reynolds fitting as Deadpool, Flash, or Green Lantern for some reason. It's not like I don't know. Like there's it's not like it is actually quite similar to the Mark Zuckerberg thing though. So that's really weird. Like what? Not Mark Zuckerberg, Jesse Eisenberg. God.
No, I was gonna
Um,
say what, Max? Huh?
well, he
What?
plays Mark Zuckerberg in the
Yeah,
social network movie.
yeah,
So since then, I've always called him Mark Zuckerberg. But anyway,
yeah.
um, yeah, like since I don't know, since that was announced, I always had a little bit of a problem with the casting, and now this is announced. It's kind of like, well, only time will tell. We'll
Yeah,
see if they pull it off.
yeah.
Um, I'll kind of just read out these ones, so we won't go into too much detail except for a couple of them. But there's Godzilla 2, which was announced, which they have a couple of different monsters in it. Finally, it's not just Godzilla,
Oh,
it's
okay.
actually other monsters.
Yeah.
So
I mean,
there's a Skull
the
Island.
last one was kind
Yep,
of
sorry.
like that as well, so it would make sense for them to, have a few. I'm
Yeah.
hoping that they kind of build on that. Would be cool. But anyway, sorry, continue.
Oops. Oh, good. There's a Skull Island series that's coming out as well. So that's basically King Kong.
Nice.
So two big monster movies
Mm.
or one series. That would be cool. They actually showed off the logo, and apparently there's a trailer for this, but you can't find it anywhere on the internet again for some reason. The Warcraft movie, which I have been freaking waiting for since 2006. 2006. So we will definitely talk about that. Um, The Hobbit 3, which looks amazing,
Yeah.
and The Last of Us, which is being turned into a movie.
Yeah.
So I kind of want to talk about firstly the Warcraft movie, if you don't mind, Aaron. But
No, sure, go for it.
personally, it like they have. First off, let's start with the actual logo and banner of it because it's weird. They didn't go for the traditional World of Warcraft logo. They kind of went for more StarCrafty. Um, because it's if you've seen it, it's kind of like blue, fiery, and it's just strange that they wouldn't go for
Do you happen to
the
have a picture
traditional
there?
iconic. I'll send you one over, but
Yeah, I might be able to throw
yeah,
it up so that people can see what we're talking about as well.
yeah. Um, so yeah, that's the first issue that I kind of have. It's just not World of Warcraft. It's just a logo that says Warcraft. Um, the other few issues that I've had, I mean, they're going. What I can say is they're actually going all the way back to the first Warcraft. So they're starting off with the first war, and that's actually pretty cool. I mean,
Okay.
it's not what the story is at right now, which is a problem to me because I mean, I kind of want to see a movie about what is happening in the game right now because right now the story is freaking amazing. I don't know much about the lore because it's literally like Star Wars, but
Well,
like there's so many different types of like side stories, and
Sorry,
it's amazing. Like the lore is
just to
really
stop
amazing.
you
Yeah, all good.
quickly for a second. Yeah, as the viewers can see, that's the logo that Blake is talking about. So yeah, I see what you're saying, where it is just kind of very different from the traditional Warcraft logo.
Yeah, like that's the thing. Like you wouldn't. I, I kind of would have assumed they would have gone for much more of a traditional one, so people
Mm.
can see, ah, that's World of Warcraft. I loved that game when I was 16,
But
now 30.
I think the
So
idea is to grab people in. Like I think it's to make
yeah,
it mainstream so that people who either haven't played the game in years or never played the game, they just heard of it and how it, kind of ruined people's lives back in the day. Um, those people will at
back in the
least kind
day.
of latch onto it, and then hopefully watch the movie and think that was freaking awesome. I'm gonna go play. Wow.
Yeah, fair enough. I mean, that's definitely a good point. Just as a World of Warcraft gamer, I guess I'm kind of biased about it, but yeah. But other than that, the one good news that I actually only heard about when it was shown at Comic-Con, but apparently this is old news from a couple of months back. Colin Farrell, I believe is his name.
Yeah.
He's in Bruges and like all those great movies. He's a brilliant Irish actor. He is going to be basically the main character
Oh,
of the
okay.
movie, and apparently,
Very nice.
yeah, he's going to. I think he's going to play the king of the human race.
Nice.
So that's really cool. I
Is he gonna go
love all of
nuts?
his movies. Pretty much. I mean, if you know the story of WoW, it's pretty crazy, and we can only see like I'm excited to see him crush some orc skulls. That's yeah.
I would be
um,
interested to see. Do you know? Did they say anything about whether it will be, like because I believe they've done the live action filming and then they're augmenting that with visual
yeah.
effects. So it'll
I
kind
was
of be
just about to
like
say that. So
Avatar style. Is that? Am I right in saying that?
um, basically what they've done is they've actually already finished shooting the film.
Yeah.
And it's exactly what you've just said. It's Avatar style. They're going to CG the whole thing,
Yeah.
and make it absolutely beautiful, work well in 3D, and just make it amazing.
Nice.
So we'll see how that kind of compares. But I expect big things from Blizzard all the time, and I don't think they'll disappoint because their CG is pretty friggin' amazing.
Yeah.
I've always said if they literally put a movie of their cinematics in the game and made a movie out of it, I think that would be freaking amazing. Like I would love that. That would
Yeah.
be yeah. Um, Another big movie. Let's kind of blow over Warcraft. I'll let that slide a little bit. The Hobbit. Are you a big Lord of the Rings fan?
I am. I am a big Lord of the Rings fan. Yeah.
Okay.
I was when they first announced The Hobbit and that it was going to be 3 movies. I was very skeptical.
Skeptic.
And I didn't know how well they do it. I love the books, and I do actually really love the way they've adapted it and kind of drawn it out and added new things in. Yeah, it'll be very interesting to see the grandiose epic conclusion. I'm hoping that it is ridiculously cool, which I'm sure it will be. But
Yeah.
to say I'm excited is probably an understatement.
I'm just excited for the five armies part. So we'll see how it goes, but it definitely looks cool from this trailer. If you haven't seen it already, we might try and put a link in the description because I think this is one of those trailers which you actually can find on the internet right now.
Yes, it is.
Yeah, I mean, it's pretty damn cool because they've actually used, if you watch The Return of the King,
Mm.
they used Pippin's song,
Oh yes,
The Edge
over
of the Night.
yeah.
Yeah, and it
Do you
just
want to
makes it so much cooler.
sing us a bar, Blake?
No, I knew you were going to do this to me, Aaron. Don't do this. I'll bring up the lyrics. But no, I mean, like it's just a damn good trailer, and
Yeah.
a lot of people are kind of split about it. Like they don't understand why they've put a song from the third movie of Lord of the Rings in this movie. But I think it's a great way to cap it off. I mean, I
Yeah.
think it's beautiful
Mm.
the way they did it, and they did it all in like slow-mo, and trailer's amazing. Definitely high recommendation to
And
watch
not
it.
that I can remember this from anything, and it may just be me pulling it out of the air or something, but I don't remember
Mm.
it being anywhere in there specifically or anything like that. But is that not what is that song not about those events? Like I thought that was the whole idea of that song.
Yeah.
So it makes perfect sense to have it over the trailer. Like, yeah, so yeah.
Fair enough. I mean, I actually didn't know that, but
No, well, that may
yeah,
just be me putting 2 and 5 together to make 3. So yeah, I wouldn't take that as rote, but I thought that was why they had used that song in the trailer, because that song is
mm,
based around this time in Middle Earth.
definitely would make sense. Um,
Yeah,
but yeah, high recommendation. Hopefully, it caps off an amazing series and
yeah.
finishes like what could be like just a cap off to the whole Lord of the Rings movie genre, because
I was gonna
now I can
say,
literally sit there and just watch
watch
Hobbit
the entire
1
thing.
till Return of the King.
Yeah.
And how awesome would that be? To watch it with your friends, like a whole marathon of Lord of the
It's
Rings.
going to make me slightly
Ah,
sad
looking forward to that.
watching the end of this final Hobbit, because then we don't have any more to look forward to. Like even when the Return of the King came out, there was whispers about the Hobbits filming and everything being done,
Mm,
and it's been talked about for years and years that they were going to do the Hobbit. It's
mhm.
just, yeah, it's going to be a little sad now when it's all said and done and it's over and we don't really have anything to look forward to.
Yeah.
But I'm sure
All good
watching
things come to an
hours
end.
and hours and hours of Lord of the Rings movies will get me by.
Yes. Over and over, like non-stop.
Yeah.
Anyway, did you want to say anything else maybe about Last of Us? Because personally, I got, I don't know how to feel about a Last of Us movie because I haven't even played like the actual game.
Any
So
of the games. Well, neither have I, so we're a great pair. Um, yeah, I mean, I just hope it's kind of the beginning of our I just hope it's the beginning of good video game movies like
yes,
the Avengers and Iron Man and Marvel was to comic book movies. Like I just hope that it's done well and that it's well received so that we can get more decent video game movies. Like I know Hitman's
nothing like
being
Street Fighter.
remade. I didn't mind the original Hitman movie. But I think they're remaking it with a different guy as the main as Agent 47. So
Yeah,
yeah, I'm kind of hoping that The Last of Us, because I think even people outside of gaming circles have heard of The Last of Us because it was such a big game for PlayStation. Now it's being made into a movie. It was a great plot, so it makes perfect sense as to why they would make it into a movie. And
yeah.
yeah, I really
Well,
hope it does well and
those
that it's well done.
there's three games that really have that about them. Like they could be the start of great video game movies, and of course, Last of Us definitely because of what you've just said, like all of that hype about the movie,
Mm.
and the fact that it's zombies. Everyone's into zombies right now, so
Yeah, but
and
it's
all
not
like
it's not your stereotypical zombies as well, which kind of gives it that
yeah,
twist, which I think people will latch onto.
yeah, definitely. I mean, I can see the start of this happening with I don't know, gaming movies like Warcraft, for example,
Mm.
and definitely the Assassin's Creed movie. So we'll see how they
Yeah,
go about it. I hope it's nothing like Prince of Persia, but
yeah,
yeah.
exactly. Yeah, there's been a couple of dodgy ones. We've also got Halo the Halo movie coming out whenever the hell that's
Yeah.
actually coming out. So, yeah, it sounds like there's a few that are lining up to kind of hopefully give us that push, that video game movies awesomeness push. Do it. Come on, guys. We believe.
JC Master Race. Wait, that doesn't work here.
Sort of.
Yeah, well. Okay. I guess it's time to wrap it up here. What do you think?
Yeah, we've been going for almost an hour and a half now, so yeah, it's definitely time to wrap it up.
I'm tired.
Us two gas bags over here.
Well, a big thank you, as always, to Aaron Toomey of The Gamery. Be sure to subscribe to him and watch his content. For updates and social networking with us, please follow me on Twitter at DZTweets and Aaron at GameryAaron. As always, be sure to check out thegamery.com for more great podcasts and gameplay. Was there anything else that you wanted to plug?
Probably the Facebook page. Hit us up, like it. We'll have stuff on there. Good things only, hopefully.
And hopefully we won't delay the podcast next week. So
and it might be slightly earlier as well. And we may have Frankie back and a guest. You know, hopefully it'll all come together. The stars will align and we'll be good.
Well, thanks everybody for joining in and watching the show, and we'll see you next time. Good night.
Bye.